Hello dear student, hello class 10. Inshallah I'm going to continue chapter 8 which is section 2 about ecosystem recycling, and today inshallah I'm going to explain about water recycling. Okay? So ecosystem recycling. So does ecosystem is recycling them? Of course. Ecosystem doing an important recycling. Okay, so ecosystem recycling energy and matter flow through an ecosystem. Ecosystem water, mineral and carbon, nitrogen and calcium and phosphor are recycling and reduced. This process called what? Called biogeochemical recycling. Called what? Biogeochemical recycle. Okay, which is okay. During this process, water, carbon dioxide, oxygen will return to the soil. Okay, from the soil to the plant, from the plant to the nether levels. Okay, so moving from a biotic portion of the environment, such as atmosphere into the living thing, from atmosphere to the living, from the ground to the living thing. Okay, this called this recycling called what? A biogeochemical recycling. Okay, for example, sunlight make food, and this animal get to eat it, and after will start to die. The decomposer, as I mentioned it, okay, decomposer, they are what? Natural recycling. By natural recycling, or it has another name, natural recycling, which is called biogeochemical recycling, which is the producer is responsible for this. They breaking down the complex material into simple material, turning into oxygen, phosphor, calcium, and returning to the soil again, from the soil to plant, who absorb it by what? By root. Okay. Yes. Let's go the first recycling. We have many recycling: carbon recycling, nitrogen recycling, and water recycling. So today, inshallah, I'm going to only talk about the water recycling. How water is recycled. Okay? How is water recycling? Water is crucial of life. Of course, water is very, very important for life. Okay? So how recycle it? Before starting, I want to give you some information about water. As you know, as I said, water is crucial for life, which is very important for life. Cell contain how many percent? Cell contains 70% to 90% of water. Okay, all cells, organism contain what? 70 or 90%. So that's why it's very, very important. Okay, so water provides the equal environment in which most life process chemical reaction. In our cell, if there is no water, the chemical reaction does not occur in our cell. Okay, and this chemical reaction is very important for metabolism. Okay, so availability of water is one of the key factors for what? That regulate productivity of the terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, yes. So okay, is a large amount of earth found in the living organism? We have earth, okay, and earth contain mostly of water. Thus, all the water is present only in the living organism? Of course not. Of course not. Only a very small amount water is found in the living organism. Okay. So water is found in our body. Okay, found in other organisms, but all no. Okay, only a few. So where the most of Earth were founded? Where? So where is it? Where is it? The Earth's water is found in the body of water, such as what? Lake, which is present in lake, river, stream, and ocean. So the most amount of water is present in where? In where? In lake, river, streams, and ocean. But in a small amount is present in organism's body. Okay? But in a large amount, the water is present where? In where? In lake, river, stream, and ocean. Okay? In what form does water exist in atmosphere? Formula. Does water is present in atmosphere? Of course. Water is present in atmosphere too, like ground. Like on the land, there is water. And atmosphere, there is water too. But in which form? In which form? Water evaporate. In water evaporate, water is present in atmosphere. Clear? So how get it the water evaporate? From where? Again from the land, but by many process. I'm going to explain it. Okay? So look at the note. This note. Before I want to look at the picture. This is our Earth. The blue one is water. So it contains more water than the land, right? Water. The total water, look at it, this water, the ocean, have you seen? And the lake, okay, and ground, okay, there is water. So does in atmosphere there is water? Of course, be careful. But in which form? In water vapor. Okay. So some water found in below ground water in soil or in underground form of what? Of porous rocks as the groundwater. So in water is present in the ground as the form what? Groundwater. Okay? But atmosphere as what? Water vapor. Okay? Perfect. Easy, right? Biology is too much easy. The movement of water between these various receivers known as water cycle. From ground to the atmosphere, from atmosphere to the ground, this cycling is called water cycling. And it's happened by many processes. Okay? Yes. Which is by evaporation. Evaporated in atmosphere. Water is formed in which form? Water evaporate and precipitation. From precipitation back down to the ground. Okay? And transpiration. What is the difference between transpiration and evaporation? Both transpiration and evaporation, that means okay. Yes. Evaporation, which is the water evaporated from what? From ocean, from lake, from the streams, okay? This is evaporation. But transpiration, again, the water is evaporated from what? From the plant, from the body of organism. That is different between of them, okay? Evaporation and transpiration from ground to the atmosphere, but precipitation from atmosphere to ground. Clear? Yes. I'm going to explain in detail. Will be it clear too. Okay. 3 important processes in water cycle are evaporation, transpiration, and precipitation. The first one, evaporation. As I mentioned, evaporation, which is evaporated water from the ocean. Okay. Evaporation added water as a vapor to atmosphere. That's means from ground to atmosphere. Okay. How the water start to evaporate? As I mentioned it, the water from ocean, lake, stream, river. Okay. How start to evaporate it? When the sun heated the water in ocean and steam. Okay. What happened? Start to evaporate it into atmosphere. Clear? So heat causes water evaporate. So who causes water to evaporate it? Who? Heat. The heat from what? From the sun. From the sunlight. Causes the evaporation from the ocean and the body of water, from the soil and from the body, living things. So at least 90% of water that evaporated from the plants, okay? From where does water evaporate? From where water start to evaporate when the sunlight hitting them? From what? From ocean, from body of water, soil and living organism, okay? It is evaporation, the first process, okay? Let us go to inspiration. As I said, the difference between inspiration and evaporation. Evaporation from ocean, lake, stream, river. But inspiration, again, from organism, especially plant. Plant take water through, as we know, as I explained in the last lessons, plant take water through roots. How they take water, plant? By which important organ? It's root. By roots, okay? And they release through what? Stoma. Where stoma is present? On the leaf. Stoma in their leaf. So they release the water through what? Through the stoma. Stoma, which is present on the leaf. If you notice, when you, at the morning, if you go to your garden, if you touch the plant, you feel its water. You feeling watering. That's meant what is happening? Transpiration. Clear? From root to stoma and releases through the leaf. So what about animals? Animals also precipitating the water cycle, but in their least signification than a plant of that plant. Animals, so how release water? Does plant get water? Of course. Without water, does not live anything. As Allah say in Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. So every organism, its live, be life by water. Okay? So animal drink water. Okay? Animal drink water or obtain form in their food and releases the water when what? During what release water? For example, I'm drink water. Okay? So during what I'm going to release the water? During what? Breath. Okay? Breath and sweat or exert. Clear? So during this process, animal will release the water. Okay? How do animals release water into environment? By what? By breathing, by breathing. Okay, by breathing, sweating, and exhalation. Clear? Okay. This process called what? Transpiration. Transpiration from ground to atmosphere. Evaporated again from ground to what? From ground to atmosphere. Now atmosphere is full of water. Storage of water. What happened? What process start it? Precipitation. Precipitation does occur when atmosphere full of what? Water. How they get this water? From two processes, which is evaporation and transpiration. Clear? Precipitation, water leave, water what? Leave. Water. If you remember, in evaporation, water added. In transpiration, water added. Added to atmosphere. But if you compare, in precipitation, what is it? Water leave. Water leave. Okay? Water leave atmosphere. Water what? In this process, in precipitation, water leave. Say goodbye. I'm full. Through precipitation, what the factor affected how much water atmosphere can hold it? We have two factors let the atmosphere hold water, which are temperature and pressure. The two factor is very important for holding water at the atmosphere. Clear? Note. Once the atmosphere became saturated, which means the full of water, water evaporated is full of precipitation occur. What time precipitation occur? When atmosphere what? Saturated, which means full of water evaporated. Okay? So, in which form can precipitation occur? In which form? In which form occur? Rain, snow, or sleet, hail, or fog. Start what? Precipitation occur. What time precipitation occur? When what atmosphere be saturated, which means full of water, water of evaporate. Clear? In which form start to precipitation back to the or leave the atmosphere? In which form? Rain, snow, still, hail, and fog. Clear? As I said, it's easy. And you are clever too. Yes. Look at this picture. Look at it. You have what? Evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation, which is water evaporated from what? Ocean, river, lake, okay? Go to the atmosphere, right? This is atmosphere. And we have transpiration, which is the water will release it from what? Organism and plant, okay? Again, go to the atmosphere. Now, atmosphere is full of water vapor. Which process start to occur? Precipitation. In which? In what? In rain, snow, still, okay? That is all. Do you have any question? Inshallah, it is clear. Look at this one. This picture is present in your book. It's a very clear picture. Evaporation from ground to atmosphere. Transpiration from ground to atmosphere. Water evaporated. But if you compare between precipitation and transpiration, precipitation leave from atmosphere to the ground. This is recycling of water. Clear? That's it. Thank you for listening, Gratian. I think bio is the easier subject in school, right? Yes. Have a good day. Thank you for listening.